All right, today we're diving into one of the wildest, most talked about tokens in all of crypto, Pepe Coin. You know the one, the meme that literally made people millionaires. But the real question, the one everyone's asking is, does it actually have a future?
And really, this gets to the heart of a huge debate in crypto, one that just splits the community right in two. Can a coin that's basically just an internet meme, a joke, can it ever become a real legitimate asset?
Okay, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at how this whole thing exploded. Then we'll get into the whole hype versus reality debate. After that, we'll touch on a new project that's trying to give it a real purpose. We'll also cover the bigger picture stuff, like regulations. And finally, we'll try to figure out, is this thing a meme or is it here to stay?
Let's start at the beginning, because to even guess at Pepe's future, you have to understand how this little digital frog completely took the financial world by storm.
So back in the spring of 2023, Pepe it went nuclear. It wasn't just another crypto token, it was a full-blown cultural moment. We're talking about people who got in early becoming millionaires, like almost overnight. And it was all powered by pure, raw hype and this incredibly strong community that just seemed to pop up out of nowhere.
And get this, the sheer scale of this was just mind-boggling. At its absolute peak, its market cap shot past $1.6 billion. Yeah, billion with a B. All for a coin that proudly came out and said, hey, we're just a tribute to a meme.
And that was kind of the genius of it. It launched with this super simple, almost refreshing promise. Just be the most memeable coin out there. That's it. It was built on Ethereum, so it was secure, it had no transaction taxes, which everyone loves, and the creators were totally honest. No roadmap, no formal team, and zero intrinsic utility. It was just a wild experiment in what pure hype could do.
So, this insane rise brings us right to the central conflict, the big debate over whether Pepe can actually last. Is hype really enough to build a future on?
Okay, so you've got two camps here, right? On one side, you have the bulls, the true believers. They'll tell you that in today's world, the community is the value. They're pointing to this massive, super engaged fan base, the big whale investors buying up tons of it, and the fact that it trades like a top-tier coin. To them, that collective belief, well, that's everything.
But then you've got the other side of the coin, the bears. They're looking at this and saying, hold on a second. They see a market that's just flooded with copycat meme coins. And since Pepe itself admits it has no real utility, they think it's just a house of cards, right? Purely speculative and just waiting for the hype to die down before it all comes crashing down. And if you want to see just how divided everyone is, just look at the price predictions. It's crazy. You have one source, Chang Jelly, saying, maybe 12% gains in 2025. But then another analyst is out there calling for a 1,400% rally. I mean, that huge gap tells you everything you need to know. Nobody really knows what's going to happen.
But what if Pepe could actually rewrite its own story? This is where we get a major plot twist, because there's a real attempt happening right now to evolve it beyond just a simple meme.
Well, this is where it gets interesting, because there's this new separate project called Pepe Unchained that's trying to solve that whole no utility problem. They're building something called a Layer 2 blockchain. The easiest way to think about it is like building an express toll lane on top of the main Ethereum highway. It's designed to make everything for Pepe way faster and way, way cheaper.
So this upgrade is supposed to add real value in three main ways. First up, staking rewards. Basically, you can lock up your tokens, which helps the network, and you get paid more Pepe in return. It's a huge reason to hold on to it. Second, that high-speed network means super low fees. And third, and this is the big one, they're creating tools for developers to actually build things on it. The hope is to create a real ecosystem of apps and services, turning Pepe from just a meme into a platform that actually does something.
But here's the thing. Even with this cool new evolution, Pepe's future isn't just up to Pepe. Its survival is also getting pushed and pulled around by some really powerful outside forces.
I mean, its fate is tied to the health of the whole crypto market, right? If Bitcoin's having a bad day, Pepe probably is too. Then there are the regulators, who are totally unpredictable. You've also got the whole trend of meme coin seasons that come and go. And finally, there's the question of whether big institutional money will ever take something like this seriously.
Okay, but check this out. On the regulation side of things, something pretty wild happened. Staff at the SEC, the big US regulator, actually hinted that they might see meme coins differently. They compared them to collectibles, things people buy just for fun. Now, this is a huge deal because it suggests these tokens might not be treated as securities, which would let them avoid a whole world of super strict financial rules. For Pepe, that's a potential game changer.
And this is all part of a much bigger conversation that's happening in Washington, D.C. right now. They're debating laws like the Clarity Act to try and create a clear set of rules for all crypto. If something like that passes, it could finally tell us what a meme coin actually is in the eyes of the law, and that would get rid of so much of the uncertainty that's hanging over this whole space.
So we've looked at the insane hype, the harsh reality, the potential for evolution, and the looming regulations. Where does all of this leave Pepe?
Ultimately, it all comes down to this one question. Is being a powerful cultural force, having this massive community behind it, is that enough to give it real long-term value? Or does it absolutely need that tangible utility that projects like Pepe Unchained are trying to build? And that really just leaves us with one final big thought to chew on. In this new digital age we're all living in, what's the true measure of value? Is it what something does? Or is it what it means to a community? The answer to that question is probably going to decide the future of not just Pepe, but this whole new wave of digital culture.